We're about our Father's business. We're supported by Calvary Chapel, and we're here to bless everybody with the gifts God's given us. And we're here to share some news updates we share every month. The Prophecy News Update, April 2017. We're going to start with March 26th up till yesterday. So we got a lot of things going on in the news right now. We're going to go ahead and cover some of the headlines and some different things. I'm going to start out with prayer. Father God, I pray, Lord, that you bless everyone here that came out. Bless the food that was given for the morning, Lord, and that iced tea. We thank you for that. Thank you for the worship and the people that came out, Lord. And just bless them today in Jesus' name. We're going to start with March 26th. Imam, that's a version of a pastor for Muslims. It's called an imam. Imam calling for Jews to be killed in his sermon at Montreal Mosque draws police complaint. I've never heard anybody, and it's supposed to be a religion of peace. Has anyone ever heard a message like that given at a Christian church? What? To kill people?
No.
You're never going to hear that at a mainline denominational Christian church. It's all about peace, right? That's what we're here for, is to bring peace. March 28th. ISIS abducts 197 Mosul children to be used as human shields. So they're using little kids as shields. You can't get any lower than that. April 2nd. Montana Democrats vote against bill banning Sharia Law. And they call it repugnant by Breitbart.com. How could any political party vote against stopping Sharia Law? Does anyone know here what Sharia Law is? I brought a little explanation of some of the things. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, but some of the main points that are very concerning to me I'm going to mention. Some different tenets of Sharia law. Number one, a Muslim must be forgiving for a murder of number one. An apostate, that means anyone who leaves Islam, they must be immediately killed. And they'll be forgiven for that. Two, they must forgiven for the murder of an adulterer. The murder of a highway robber is okay. Vigilante street justice is okay. Take the law in your own hands. And honor killing. If anyone doesn't know what honor killing is, it's when, like an example of a father, if he rapes his daughter, right?
Kill her.
They kill the daughter. They don't kill the man. They kill the daughter because of the family shame. And she had nothing to do with it. They kill her, and not the father. He doesn't get in trouble at all.
Okay.
Number two, Sharia. I got a song here, Blown Away. Sharia never abolished slavery. That means they still believe in slavery. Today, it still goes on. Sexual slavery as well, and they highly regulate it. A master will not be punished for killing his slave. Number three, Sharia dictates death by stoning, beheading, amputation of limbs, as you see happens in Africa all the time, flogging for crimes of sin such as adultery. You know, when they flog you, many people do not survive being flogged. I saw a picture of a man that was flogged, and they think that the guy most likely died. I mean, you're talking severe beatings to where you don't survive it. So, if you get flogged, you may not live. Homosexuality is punishable by death. They throw them off a building. They take them up to a high building or a cliff, and they just throw them off. Number four, there's no age limit of marrying anybody. You can marry a 2-year-old. The only limitation on that is the marriage contract can take place anytime after birth, but can be consummated at age 8 or 9 years old. You know what consummated means? The wedding night happens at 8 or 9 years old, and the bad thing is it often results in the death of the bride because she's too young to be doing that. So many times it results in death. I reported on that, but you guys heard me months ago reporting on that where people have actually died from that. Number five, rebelliousness on the part of the wife nullifies the husband's obligation to support her. So if you think your wife's unruly, you don't have to support her. And it gives him permission to beat her and keep her from leaving the home. And he doesn't have to feed her. Number six, women who live under Sharia law are not much more than a possession, bound and hidden behind head-to-toe mask. Number seven, divorce is only in the hands of the husband, and it's easy as saying, I divorce you. They don't have to go to court. All he has to do is say, I divorce you. That's it. And he can still make her be a slave anyways.
I divorced you, but he's still...
It becomes effective even if the husband did not intend it. He might have been drunk and said it, and it still becomes effective.
Well, I don't know my wife.
Yeah, he might not even remember that he divorced her, but they're still divorced. In the eyes of the law, Sharia law. Number 8. There is no community property between husband and wife, and the husband's property does not automatically go to the wife after he dies. So a man can have many possessions. He dies, the wife gets nothing. Nothing. For all her hard work slaving in the kitchen.
And getting beat up.
And getting beat up, that's right. Raped or whatever it might be. I bet you women want to sign up and go be a Muslim, right? Right away in some of those countries.
Yeah, sign me up.
Sign them up. My stepfather's Muslim, so I'm very familiar with it. I'm pretty close with my stepfather. We have had arguments about our religions. But whenever we had family get-togethers, when I first started seeing him and his family, the women were always separate. They never came and did any family stuff with the men. They have to be in their own area and the men are in their own area. So there's no family interaction at all, hardly between the women in the group and the men. That's happened in my family, so I'm familiar with it. Okay, number 9. A man has the right to have up to 4 wives, and none of them have the right to divorce him, even if he is polygamous. Number 10. We'll wait till this guy goes by here. Number 10. A man is allowed to have sex with slave women and women captured in battle. And if the enslaved woman is married, her marriage is annulled. Number 11. The testimony of a woman in court is half the value of a man's. Number 12. A woman loses custody if she remarries. So she loses custody of her children if she remarries. 12. To prove rape, a woman must have 4 male witnesses. 4 male witnesses.
Wow.
You might as well forget about getting someone in trouble for rape. Pretty much they go around raping whoever they want because they get away with it. Many areas in Europe and even some in America have forms of Sharia law either in place now or they're creeping in. And many states in America have bills in courts right now to ban Islamic laws from being implemented. And I'm going to read you a February 2, 2015 headline that shows you that. February 2, 2015 headline says, Islamic Sharia Tribunal begins operating in Texas. So the first court that started implementing Sharia law was in 2015 in Texas. So we have to watch out for it here.
Dearborn, Michigan.
It's coming in. And my wife just mentioned Dearborn, Michigan. I'm aware of that too. The Center for Security Policy in Washington, D.C. You guys hear that? The Center, the CSPC, Center for Security Policy, CSP, in Washington, D.C. has found that at least 146 cases have been identified where the U.S. court system has allowed a Sharia court to adjudicate. 146 cases. That was back in 2015, by the way. I'm sure there's been a lot more now. 20% of those cases, the court system has agreed to use Sharia instead of American laws that guarantee our constitutional rights. So basically, if they allow Sharia law, you have no constitutional rights at all. We don't want that here, and it's coming in. That's why you need to be aware of it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the regular news headlines. April 2. This is a play on words here. It's called Londonistan. That means London, because it's getting really bad in Europe right now. When you think it's coming here, it's already been there, and it's getting really bad there right now in Europe. They're calling it Londonistan. They had just recently had 500 churches close. 500 closed churches and 423 new mosques have opened up. So all the churches are dying, the mosques are springing up. So London is basically being taken over from the inside out. And it's going to happen here too. April 3rd, United Kingdom airports and nuclear plants placed on terror alert as experts warn of credible security threat. That's from Breitbart.com. Okay, BBC News reports. Same day. At least 10 people have been killed in explosions at underground stations in St. Petersburg, Russia. And it's been confirmed an Islamic terrorist. April 4th, Breitbart reports. A Muslim faith healer has been arrested for the brutal drugging he drugged 20 of his disciples and stabbed them at a Sufi shrine in Punjab, Pakistan. So his own followers, he drugged them and then he stabbed 20 of them. I don't know why, but that's the headline.
Can we do that next time?
April 4th. Researchers, this is a cool one. You guys are like Star Wars. Researchers create Star Wars super laser in the lab. SpaceDaily.com reports. That means they figured out a way to put multiple lasers through one beam without it overheating. So now there's no end to the power that they can create with lasers. So they'll be able to knock missiles out of the sky as soon as they get this ready for military use. So lasers are going to be in the military very soon, and super high-powered lasers, almost like you see in the movies. They just now had a breakthrough. So you'll be seeing those. That's going to save a lot of money, because you know how much one of those missiles costs that they shoot? You're talking thousands and thousands of dollars, where you can keep shooting a laser. It's not going to cost that much. Not that they care about not wasting money. We know how the government wastes money, right? Okay, April 5th, Space Daily reports, the United States and its allies would have no defense. We would be defenseless against large numbers of ground-launched cruise missiles of the type recently deployed by Russia, a top U.S. general warned. So if Russia does decide to barrage us with cruise missiles, there's nothing we can do. And there's probably missiles that we can shoot at them. There's not much they can do. They could probably do more than we can, though. Because, see, we've been sitting idle with our weapons, not really developing them. Russia's been sitting around developing more and more sophisticated weaponry. So they're getting more and more confident right now. So the world, I mean, it's a scary place right now if you don't know the Lord. If you know the Lord, you know where you're going, so it don't matter. But we still have to be aware of it and warn others to get right with God, right? Amen?
Yeah.
April 6th. The U.S. can't defend against Russia's newest cruise missiles, so it may have to try offense instead. But the U.S. hasn't simply been surpassed by superior Russian missile technology. The Russian missiles in question violate the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. They have violated a treaty. But let's stay off our high horse, though, because the Aegis missile shield that we're building in Romania right now, that also violates a treaty. So we can't just, complain about them, because we're violating treaties as well, our government. So we're just as bad as them. So I'm not trying to villainize Russia. We're probably, we probably started it. April 7th, United Nations demands North Korea stop missile tests. That'll happen, won't it? He laughs at them. April 9th, the Times of Israel reports, dozens of Syrian students on Saturday gathered outside the offices of the United Nations in Damascus to protest the U.S. missile attack on an air base in response to President Assad of Syria's alleged chemical attack on his own people. Now, that could have been a fake attack. We don't know. So we don't know if Trump had a right to do that or not. Anyways, next one, same day. BBC.com reports, the U.S. military has ordered a Navy strike group to move towards the Korean Peninsula amid growing concerns about North Korea's missile program. Same day. Iran and Russia threaten the United States after missile strike to respond if attacks on Syria continue. So we've already been threatened by Russia if we continue the attacks in Syria. So I don't think it would be very smart for us to continue launching cruise missiles at Syria. April 10th. Egypt to declare state of emergency after ISIS bombings of churches killing 44 people. April 14th. CNN reported that the U.S. military dropped America's first most powerful non-nuclear bomb on ISIS targets in Afghanistan, targeting underground tunnels that ISIS uses. You guys also heard why it took them so long to find bin Laden? Because there's a network of underground tunnels in Afghanistan. Well, we ordered a Moab, which is the mother of all bombs, to be dropped on Afghanistan. And I guess they say it killed about 100 people that go underground and stuff and go back and forth. It's about 1/4 the size of a nuclear bomb without all the radiation. So it's a lot safer to use, but it's still a crazy bomb to use. I mean, the world is getting crazy. We got to pray. April 17th. Times of Israel reports that Russia on Monday warned Washington against launching a unilateral strike on North Korea. So not only are they warning us about Syria, they're warning us about what we're planning for North Korea as well. After U.S. Vice President Mike Pence said that the era of strategic patience with Pyongyang was over. Pyongyang, that's North Korea. April 18th, WND reported that a man wearing a t-shirt that said, "I'm American, I'm Muslim, I open carry, I conceal carry, and I'm dangerous only if you're stupid." He had a shirt that said that. He was approached by a security guard and he was told to leave. Once back in his car, he brandished an arsenal of weapons, including 2 military-style rifles with loaded magazines, 3 handguns, and made several threats of be scared and be terrified. And again, this was live streamed on Facebook while he was parked in the conference center parking lot of a Christian church event. So he was out there terrorizing Christians. Guess what? Because we're so politically correct, the cops let him go. They just let him go. No problem. They want to be politically correct, so just let this crazy guy that has his car full of ammunition and guns and stuff, and just let him go. It's okay. Ridiculous. Okay, also April 18th, a North Korean defector said that North Korea plans to kidnap Americans and carry out ISIS-style terror attacks. So I guess Kim Il-jong, or whatever his name is in Korea, he thinks that ISIS is great. They're going to copy his methods and come here to us and do the same thing that ISIS is doing. April 19th, FBI investigating radical terrorists in all 50 states of America. There's stuff going on in every single state in America they're investigating. That ought to concern people. Wake up. It's going on as threats hit a peak. Right now we've got more threats than we've ever had in every single state in America. The same day, April 19th, Breitbart reports that a suspect who opened fire, killing 3 in Fresno, allegedly said Allahu Akbar as police jumped on him and took him to the ground. So just a few days ago, we had a terrorist attack in Fresno. April 20th. U.S. jets scrambled to intercept Russian bombers flying over Alaska 2 nights in a row. So they're flexing their muscles, man, and they got them too. They got more technology than we got. We should be worried. We shouldn't be provoking them. That's for sure. Also April 20th, CNN reported. Now listen to this. This is for Stacy. Because she guessed it before I even reported on it. You know, we got the mother of all bombs, right? It's 1/4 the size of a nuclear bomb. Well, guess what Russia has? It's called the FOAB. It's the father of all bombs. Stacy said it earlier. The father of all bombs. It was born in Russia in 2007. They developed this weapon. It may be holding a title of the strongest non-nuclear bomb in the entire world. The Russian military says it's the most powerful bomb of its kind. 4 times more powerful than the American MOAB, mother of all bombs. It's 4 times stronger than ours. And ours is like 13 feet long, this missile. Theirs is 4 times more powerful. And it's the largest non-nuclear bomb. Ours is the largest non-nuclear bomb they have. Theirs is as powerful as what we dropped on Hiroshima, and it's not even a nuclear bomb. The FOAB, the father of all bombs, is a thermobaric bomb, which means that its payload explodes at much higher temperatures than any other bomb. Layton said, the result is that all living things in the area of detonation are vaporized. So you're talking like up to a 4 square mile area completely vaporized. Everything in its path vaporized with no radiation, making the FOAB a spectacularly terrible weapon. So, you know, if we make the Russians mad, they can wipe out a 4 square mile, vaporize everything in 4 square miles if they want to. April 21st, Islamic State claims Paris attack, another Islamic attack, that killed policemen. Reported by Breitbart. Nearly 1 Christian is killed every hour around the world for practicing their faith. We got to pray for our brothers and sisters around the world that are Christians, because there's 1 killed every hour around the world. And that was reported by the Archbishop of the U.S. Capitol, Cardinal Donald Wuerl. So that concludes my prophecy update.